Awesome. Hello. So we are back and I'm chatting with one of my lovely clients. So why don't we jump right into it? What is your name? Where do you live? And how do we know each other?
Okay, hi. I'm Dana. I live in Manitoba. We know each other. I found you on Instagram like
Mhm.
over a year and a bit ago now. And I think it was one of your reels about the 5 o'clock witching hour, I'm sure. And I
Yeah.
instantly started following you. Yeah, we just messaged a bit on Instagram and then I booked a discovery call and knew right away that I wanted to work with you as my coach. So we've done a few sessions together and
Yeah.
I was in the well circle for a bit and now we
Yeah.
just chat on Instagram sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being open to this
Of course.
conversation. And I'm grateful for your openness to this and for what you're going to say and for what you're going to say that I know is going to be really valuable and validating for other people who might be watching this. So no pressure, but yeah. So thank you. I'm really grateful for you.
Yeah, thanks
Um,
for having me.
yeah. So why don't we start with where were you in your relationship with alcohol, attempts at quitting, how you were feeling, what the thoughts looked like? Like, what did that portion of your life look like before we started working together?
I was feeling pretty stuck. Like I had tried many times, like on my own to stop, and I would do like 30 days or a challenge of sorts. And I read some Quitlet, and then it would just creep back into my life, and then I would start drinking again. And there was moments, and especially right before we started working together, that I was lying to my husband, trying to hide the amount I was drinking, and that felt really scary to me. But also that I thought I could kind of do it on my own. And I had tried some like free programs and things like that, and it just, again, I would be okay for a bit. And then the exact same bad habits would be coming back in my life. I had little to no boundaries in my personal life or in my professional life. And I didn't realize how much that was affecting me. So I was just feeling really stuck and really like unmotivated to try anything else because I thought I had tried it all.
Which is so interesting because, I talk to women on Instagram daily, and you literally have said things that come up in almost every conversation, which is I'm following social media accounts. I've tried like free programs, or I downloaded this free workbook, or I've tried everything on my own. And I understand that it really feels like that because when you are trying on your own and you don't necessarily have the tools or the direction or the support, it is very effortful and it's very exhausting. And it can feel like I have tried everything I possibly can to
Mhm.
like get this
Yeah.
thing figured out. Yeah, listening to podcasts, reading the books, all of those things. And just feeling like I've exhausted these efforts. I'm curious, or when or how did you get to the point where you're like, okay, maybe I can't figure this out on my own?
Probably like right before I found your account. Like I remember
Mhm.
I found it in like December. It was October that like I had like journaled about like feeling like I messed up again. And then I was just kind of at this low that I was like mad and angry and sad. And then I started thinking like something's not working. And that's when I was like, I've tried everything. What's my next step? And then, I think I even reached out with my work like EAP program, but then I like probably canceled that appointment because I'm like, no, maybe one last time of trying. And then just like your questions you asked when we were chatting on Instagram and just feeling like very validated by like
Mhm.
I hadn't even met you like on Zoom yet. And just what you were saying to me, I was like, you get it. And like you were validating like every single thing I said. And I was like, okay, so maybe there is a little bit more hope. Like maybe I haven't exhausted everything. And I honestly didn't even know like sober coaches were a thing. Like, so the fact that you were like, I help women like this, like you, that have said almost the same thing to me. I was like, okay, so I'm also not alone in this. I am not the only person that has had these feelings and struggles. But I didn't know anyone else in my personal life. Like my friends like don't have the same struggles as me, so I did feel alone.
Two things that I really appreciate about what you just said was one, just recognizing that like something's got to give. The ways that you've been going about this clearly aren't getting you to where you want to go, despite trying and being open to trying. And I think that's important to acknowledge, right? Because you were actively trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, learning that there is another option and sober coaching could could be an option, right? And I think a lot of people don't even know what that is. Also, the piece about feeling validated and also recognizing that you're not the only one asking these questions, having these feelings, experiencing challenges in this area of your life. And that's also, I think, such an important piece in the journey because it can feel very isolating. We can feel very alone in the process. And that often makes it almost harder to reach out or to have a conversation or to ask for help because you don't even know help is available. And you assume it's just like a Dana problem or an Amy problem. And it's not at all. That could not be further from the truth. So I appreciate you saying those pieces. So when it came to working together, what made you pull the trigger?
I think again, like our Instagram interaction felt like so real and it didn't feel like you were just like automatically like responding almost like an AI bot. Oh, tell me more, right? You were like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I get it. Like I've been there or I understand. And then when you offered the discovery call, like something in my brain was like, just do it. Like there's nothing to lose at this point. I was like super scared to do that. So I was like, no, I don't know. Like maybe not. And then I was just like, if I just do it, like what's the worst that can happen? And then I think like within 5 minutes, I was like, yep, like just the way that you like made me feel so, yeah, like again, like heard and like your presence is so calming that I was like, I could have sat there and talked probably for 3 hours and you would have just been like, yeah, like it's okay. We can get through this. Like I can help you. So I think just like you taking the time to even like have those chats on Instagram with me first and then offering kind of like, let's chat on Zoom for a bit and see if it's good. Like you didn't jump into being like, and here are all my program options. You're like, I actually want to chat with you in person, face to face, and see if this could work or if I could help you. So that's what made me jump with that. Because again, I'd followed Instagram accounts, I'd messaged people, and just it never felt like right to do. And I love that you're Canadian too, so that was cool.
I think most Canadians are happy they're Canadian these days. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I appreciate you saying that. And a few things. First, I'll be the first to say that the internet is a weird place. And there are so many AI chatbots, automations, like you have no idea who you're talking to, actually. And one of the things that I pride myself on is like, I have never used any of that stuff. So if you get a message from me, it is me. I don't have assistants in there. I don't have a team. It is me. Because I know how important those connections are. I know how scary it is to even be contemplating not drinking or being in a place where you recognize that it's a problem and maybe you need some help or some guidance. Those moments are very vulnerable and tender because I've been there and I know exactly how it feels. And so that's why like it's so important for me to like have those conversations with people if people are open to talking and getting on a call because this is a two-way street. We want to figure out like, can I actually help you? Do you want to spend that time with me? Do you trust that I can help you get there? And you can't do that through a form or, a chat bot. The connection piece is so, so important. Fast forward, where are you now? And what does your sobriety journey look like? What feels possible in your life now?
Yeah, it's like my life is really good and I've gotten through some really hard times over the last year. And I know that if I was drinking and in those same cycles, like those things wouldn't have been possible. A big, humongous thing was like setting boundaries. And like you helped me so much with that in like two very different worlds of like personal boundaries and professional boundaries that again, how I was saying at the beginning, like I didn't even know that I didn't have those. So every week when we would talk about them, you were there for me. Now it's just so like second nature to have those boundaries in place. And I respect them for myself. I probably respect other people's boundaries a lot more because I'm more aware of it. That was a huge thing. Also like we talked so much in sobriety that like it doesn't just mean like eliminating alcohol, but like setting up yourself that you aren't going to be, hitting that 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock time where you have no strategies in place. So even just like learning about what I need to have like successful days and be present for myself and take better care of myself. So that's been like so huge for me. And it's just those things have like really stuck with me. They've become habits that my non-negotiable habits that I always do. And you're still there to to like chat if I need to like, ask you something. So that's been good. Working on myself will be like a long-term thing and probably forever. But, we talked lots too that like I was stuck in kind of some bad cycles for like years. So it's not
Yeah.
going to be an overnight fix, but more like a work in progress of continuing to grow and identify things that I need.
I'm going to kind of ask a question that builds off what you just said. And you spoke to some of these pieces already, whether it was the boundaries, shifting habits. I also heard in there really tuning into what your needs are, learning how to take care of yourself better, putting strategies in place so that when those tempting or challenging moments pop up, you're not just hoping for the best. What were some of the other like main things that we worked on that created shifts for you that allow you to live your life the way you do now?
We did a lot of work on nervous system regulation. And again, like didn't even realize that that was like something that I needed. And one thing before I go into that is like you've shared on your Instagram that like a lot of times the work we do like isn't just centered around like alcohol consumption. Like there are so many different parts of it. So, and I thought that too. And I'm like, how can I talk for 12 weeks about that? And then it was like, oh no, that's not actually what we're going to talk about for 12 weeks. So
Yeah.
just like you would always have something to like offer, right? Like when I'm super stressed when I'm driving home, or like as I'm driving home, my mind is spinning. You're like, hey, let's try this. And so then you would, help me find the right tools for that. And also, yeah, like building habits that start with like your evening habit going into bedtime and then your morning habit to set your day up, but also throughout your day. You're like, it's not going to be like just white knuckle through the day and then hope for the best in the evening. And again, I had no idea that that was even like something my brain. So a lot of like habit forming, the way that our bodies respond to like stress and again, like well-being, you provided so many different strategies. And then you would say like, what worked for you? What worked this week that you were successful? And how can we continue to build on that?
Was there anything about our work that was surprising for you?
I think like how instantly I felt good about it. And again, like surprising in such a great way. I think I was like very nervous to start working with a coach. And there was probably some like underlying shame around that I feel like I even needed that kind of support. But then instantly I was so happy that I did it. And I was like, I don't want this to ever end. And like, we've done 2 12-week programs together. And like, I remember at the end of both of them, I'm like, can we just like extend this for the rest of our lives? And again, like I've never met you in real life, but I feel like we know each other so well. And you just have this like really calming presence of you. And you've like every single thing that I've gone through in the time we've known each other, you have like never made me feel an ounce of shame, embarrassment. You've really seen a lot of me. It's been so amazing.
That like hit me in my heart space a little bit, because this work is very intimate and you are sharing vulnerable moments and you're sharing moments that you maybe don't feel the best about. And as you said, like some of those moments sometimes have feelings of shame or embarrassment around them. I think it just is like so important just generally to just be fully seen and witnessed as human beings in all of our multitudes and all of our complexities, and just being met exactly where you are with like compassion and understanding and care. And I'm just so grateful that you trusted me to support you with this. And that was also what your experience was, where you just felt seen and maybe held a little bit. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
totally. I could be completely honest. And and that was a really big struggle for me before that. Like I lied a lot about it, how much I was drinking, when I was drinking. And I never felt like I had to do that because again, I knew that this work was helping me. So then I was like, I need to go all in and I need to make sure that I'm allowing myself to be helped. Right. And you provided that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, I love that I get to do this so much. Honestly, I say it all the time, but it's true. And I'm just going to say it here. But like, it just is such an honor and such a privilege that women and you and my other clients have said yes and have allowed me to just like walk beside you in this. It's so meaningful for me. And I'm so thrilled to see where you are and to see how far you've come and how many things you have changed in your life and you've been so proactive about and so consistent consistent about, and, showing up even when it's difficult or uncomfortable or you were uncertain, but continuing to show up for the journey it's just been so incredible to witness. Thank you. And also congrats. It's a
Thanks.
very big deal. Was there anything that almost prevented you from jumping in with me?
I think we kind of talked about this like throughout the conversation, but like probably a bit of shame. I felt like I, couldn't do it on my own at first. That was my feeling. I also remember like probably minutes before we were supposed to jump on our discovery call, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to give it one last try on my own. Like it was like that. And I think I even told you that, like as soon as we got on the call, you're like, I've heard that before. And I was like, okay, so I'm not alone in this. Like
no.
a little bit of like vulnerability was like, I'm not sure. I don't know if I can commit to that. Right. And then I'm so glad I did the discovery call because that was going to be successful. But yeah, I think just a little bit of that like shame and uncertainty, right? Like again, I had only like just chatted with you on Instagram. So I didn't really know. And I was like, so far things are good, but I'm not sure. And like, I don't know again, like how I'm going to present myself in this call. So it was before the discovery call. Yeah. That I was just a little bit nervous, but I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah. Me too. I'm so glad that you were able to just be like, I'm nervous and I'm still going to do this thing. Right. And that you didn't let the nervousness and the fear and the shame, have a chokehold on you and like prevent you from actually showing up, which I love. And that's also the point of those calls, right? Like they don't cost anything other than some time. They invite you to be open and honest. And I really try to not apply any kind of pressure. Like truly, it is just like, we're just figuring it out if this could work. And I'm just learning about you to see if I can actually help you. And people, I don't say this often, but like, I don't invite people to work together unless I know I can help them. So I'm not just looking to like sign up anybody. Like I'm just like, and that's part of what I learned on the call too, right? I'm really glad that you were able to move through that and like hold that you're feeling nervous and also that you could still show up for the call. I think that says a lot about you.
Thanks.
Yeah. What would you honestly say to someone who is considering working with me?
I would just tell them to do it, to take that leap, to do the discovery call, and be honest and allow yourself to like give it a try because it is so worth it. And like, actually, I don't even know if I ever told you this, but one of the women in the Well Circle had reached out to me and messaged me and just said like, I know you've done like the coaching sessions with Amy and like, I'm thinking of doing it. Like, and I was like, yeah, do it. Like, honestly, like it's life changing. The Well Circle is so amazing. And like that, then the one-on-one coaching like together is just great. Yeah. I'm so glad I did. If I had anyone else like reach out to me and ask me, I would say like 100,000,000% do it. Follow your account, engage with all your stuff. Cause I think that's a big thing too, is like the stuff you post is so meaningful. And so like reading that, listening to that, and then just to have you like as my coach, and I still consider that you're like my coach for life.
Yeah. Great. Sign me up.
So great. Like, at least hop onto the discovery call and have a conversation, because then I think they would see really quickly how amazing it could be.
Awesome. Great answer. Love that. Anything else you would like to add that feels important to your story or your experience, or something that somebody watching this might find important?
I'm happy to do this because if I watched something like this before I had even like started our work together, I think it would have helped me like feel like, again, less alone, because I think this, struggling with alcohol, it could be scary and it could feel very isolating, especially if not many people in your life know about it or have the same experiences. So just knowing that there are other women that, yes, I think if other women could see that they were less alone, that would be like really amazing. That I feel like more women would maybe reach out to either explore things that they could change in their life or better. And awesome. Thank you for asking me to do this call, because I'm glad that I got to share some stuff.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for being open. I applaud you. I applaud the other clients who have been open to share parts of their story and share parts of their journey. I think the piece about not feeling alone is so real. Truly, so many women that I talk to do feel very alone. They feel like this is something that they are failing at, and they've really internalized the journey. And it's like, actually, you're in a very huge club in great company with a lot of women who are having similar experiences, asking similar questions. And so, the piece about I want to share so that other people don't feel so alone is really beautiful. And I really appreciate that. Well, thank you again. This has been so great. And I know that women watching this are going to feel seen and feel less alone own and feel validated in their experiences. So thank you again.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for you, not just for today, but of course, like for our time together, everything that's hasn't yet happened.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for asking me to do it.
Yeah, you bet.